Looking carefully at the foliage, you might spot a knot within the sprawling bush winking at you. That's the only warning you're going to get before the outstretched limbs of the awakened tree up above slam down upon you. There's no more rules for spotting awakened plants when they're in the world, though that doesn't mean that they're not still hiding from you in the 2024 rules. Awakened shrubs and awakened trees are two of the 22 monsters in the 2024 Monster Manual that have vulnerabilities. Fire, in fact. They also have some of the best physical resistances in the game that make the most sense. Resistant to piercing for both, and bludgeoning as well for hardy trees. The need for a slashing weapon is a nice weakness that works well for the awakened tree and its tiny little friend. Shrubs are really little more than a nuisance, to be honest, as a CR0, and are little more than something to add flavor to an encounter, while the tree makes a good minion for druids or fey creatures. And in fact, that's pretty much where you're going to find them in terms of allies. The Fey chart from the Monster Manual, or humanoids with a bent towards nature like scouts and druids and even berserkers. Awakened trees are pretty straightforward with just a bundle of hit points and a single slamming attack. But with huge size and a 10-foot reach, they are a real presence on the battlefield and very hard to escape from. Use them as a secondary fighter, causing damage and trouble on the field while the tricksy little Fey dance out of reach and try to provoke opportunity attacks with their powerful slam attack. Make the PCs decide between that opportunity attack to get to the squishy little Fey or battering against the heavy bark. An ideal battlefield is any area where they can hide in plain sight. Though there aren't rules for how to spot them, make it an investigation check that your players have to instigate in order to be sure that this tree is more than it looks like. Because of their slow speed, they need to get the drop on their opponents. And if you really want to make it tricksy, adding in some kind of environmental effect to where fire might not be a good idea is a great way to protect them from having fire used against them. Feel free to warn your players about the chance of forest fires, Smokey. And that's your guide to awakened plants in the new Monster Manual.